What if I told you that one man, born under the shadow of a prophecy and a blazing comet in the night sky, would rise from obscurity to unite the scattered islands of Hawaii into a single kingdom? What if I told you that this same man, feared and respected as a ruthless warrior, would also craft laws to protect the weak and ensure justice for the common people? And what if I told you his story isn't just about battles and bloodshed, but about destiny, diplomacy, and the forging of a legacy that still shapes Hawaii today? That man was Kamehameha I, remembered in history as Kamehameha the Great. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In today's deep dive, we're exploring the incredible story of Kamehameha I, from his mysterious birth and survival against death orders to his rise as a feared warrior, his legendary battles that brought Hawaii under one rule, and the powerful legacy he left behind. If you've ever wondered how Hawaii transformed from a group of warring chiefdoms into a united kingdom, this is the story you need to hear. Let's break it all down, from prophecy to conquest, and from greatness to mystery. The birth of a prophecy. Kamehameha's story begins with signs in the heavens. He was born around November 1758 in the Kohala district of Hawaii Island. Just before his birth, a bright star named Kokoiki was spotted in the sky, believed by seers to be Halley's Comet. The kahunas, Hawaii's mystic seers, prophesied that a child was about to be born who would rise to greatness, defeat his rivals, and rule all the islands. This prophecy terrified the ruling king Alapai. If such a child grew up, it could mean the end of his dynasty. So he ordered the infant's death, but destiny had other plans. The child, first named Paeea, meaning hard-shelled crab, was hidden away and raised in secret. He grew up apart, carrying the name Kamehameha, which translates as the very lonely one, or the one set apart. From the start, he was marked by fate as someone different, someone chosen. Early life and signs of greatness. Raised in the royal court of his uncle Kalaniʻoku, Kamehameha learned both the traditions of his people and the art of warfare. He was also given custody of Kuka'ilamoku, the Hawaiian god of war, a powerful symbol that cemented his future role as a warrior and leader. But his true rise began in 1782, after the death of Kalaniʻopu. The kingship went to Kalaniʻopu's son, Keavolo, while Kamehameha was given Waipio Valley and the religious guardianship of the war god. Tensions quickly grew between the cousins. Kamehameha's chiefs felt sidelined, and the rivalry reached a boiling point during a dedication to the gods, when Kamehameha performed a sacred offering before Kiwalalau could. This act, seen as a challenge, created a rift that could only be resolved through battle. The Battle of Moku'ohai. In July 1782, war broke out at Moku'ohai. It was a bloody conflict between Kamehameha's forces and Kiwalalau's, backed by 5 powerful Kona chiefs, Keaumoku, Keweaheulu, Kekuhapio, and the twin brothers Kame'eyamoku and Kamanawa. Kamehameha proved victorious. Kiwalalau was slain, and Kamehameha secured control of key districts on Hawaii Island. From here, his mission began to fulfill the prophecy and unite the islands under one rule. The Naha stone and the prophecy fulfilled. But destiny wasn't only won on the battlefield. A famous moment in Kamehameha's legend was his lifting of the Naha stone. This massive stone, weighing nearly 5,000 pounds, was said to grant rulership to the one who could move it. When Kamehameha lifted it, he was seen as the living proof of prophecy. Chiefs and commoners alike believed he was chosen to rule. Still, not everyone accepted this destiny. Rival chiefs continued to challenge him, and wars loomed across the islands. Weapons, allies, and Western influence. By the late 17th century, Hawaii was not isolated. Foreign traders brought new weapons, ships, and knowledge. Kamehameha wisely embraced these tools of power. He gained the loyalty of British and American traders who sold him guns, cannons, and ammunition. Two Westerners, Isaac Davis and John Young, became crucial advisors after being spared in a bloody conflict. They married into Hawaiian families and trained Kamehameha's men in the use of muskets and cannons, giving his armies a deadly advantage. Kamehameha also secured support from powerful Hawaiian allies, including Ka'ahumanu, his favorite wife, who later became one of Hawaii's most influential figures. The Battle of Kepaniwai, 1790. In 1790, Kamehameha made his first major move beyond Hawaii Island, invading Maui while its ruler, Kahekili II, was away. At the Battle of Kepaniwai, his forces clashed with Maui's defenders. Using cannons from the captured ship Fair American, Kamehameha's warriors devastated the enemy. The name Kepaniwai translates to the damming of the waters, because so many bodies filled the river that it was blocked. It was a brutal but decisive victory. Keua's death and the Pu'ukohola heiau. Kamehameha still faced opposition on his own island. His rival, Keuakuahola, remained a constant thorn in his side. After years of conflict, Kamehameha built the Pu'ukohola heiau, a massive temple dedicated to the war god. In 1791, Keua was invited to meet Kamehameha at the temple, but it was a trap. Accounts differ. Some say he was ambushed with a spear, others that musket fire killed him. Either way, Keua was slain, and Kamehameha became undisputed ruler of Hawaii Island. The prophecy was inching closer to fulfillment. The Battle of Nu'uanu, 1795. By 1795, Kamehameha had set his sights on Oahu. He launched a massive campaign with 10,000 warriors in hundreds of war canoes. The decisive battle came at Nu'uanu, one of the bloodiest in Hawaiian history. Kamehameha's forces pushed Oahu's defenders up the valley to the cliffs of Nu'uanupali. Trapped, over 700 men were forced over the edge, plunging 1,000 feet to their deaths. It was a moment of absolute dominance. Kamehameha now controlled all the islands except Kauai and Niihau. The Unification of Hawaii. His first attempt to conquer Kauai in 1796 failed due to storms and an epidemic that ravaged his army. But Kamehameha was patient. In 1010, diplomacy triumphed where war had failed. Kaumoali'i, the king of Kauai, peacefully ceded his island, recognizing Kamehameha's rule. At last, Hawaii was united. The prophecy was fulfilled. The law of the splintered paddle. Though remembered as a fierce warrior, Kamehameha was not only about war. One of his most famous contributions was the Mamalahwe Kanawai, the law of the splintered paddle. The story goes that years earlier, during a raid, Kamehameha had his foot caught in rocks. Two fishermen, trying to defend themselves, struck him on the head with a paddle, breaking it. They escaped, but years later were brought before him. Instead of punishing them, Kamehameha declared a new law that all elderly, women, and children should be able to lie by the roadside in safety. It was a law of compassion from a man often remembered for conquest. Ruler, reformer, and legacy. As king, Kamehameha consolidated power by appointing governors to each island, maintaining the traditional kapu system, and ensuring law and order. He banned human sacrifice, expanded trade, and secured Hawaii's independence during a time when European powers were expanding across the Pacific. His clever control of the sandalwood trade and port duties enriched the kingdom, making it a powerful player in Pacific commerce. Religiously, he remained devoted to Hawaii's gods, particularly Kukailimoku, even when explorers like George Vancouver encouraged Christianity. For Kamehameha, his gods were the source of his mana, his sacred power. Final years and death. After decades of war and leadership, Kamehameha spent his final years in Kailua Kona at his compound, Kamakahonu. He died on May 8th or 14th, 1819, though the exact date is uncertain. Following tradition, his body was hidden in a secret location by his trusted friends, Huapiali and Ho'olulu. His mana was so sacred that his resting place had to remain unknown to protect it from enemies and to keep his spirit at peace. To this day, his burial site is a mystery. Our nerdy thoughts. Kamehameha's life is a story of destiny, blood, and brilliance. Born under a prophecy, nearly killed as a child, he grew into a warrior of unmatched skill and cunning. But beyond the battles and the bloodshed, he was a strategist who knew when to fight and when to negotiate, a ruler who balanced tradition with progress, and a leader who left a kingdom stronger than he found it. Hawaii remembers him as Kamehameha the Great, not just because he united the islands, but because he preserved their independence at a time when colonial powers loomed over the Pacific. His legacy, written in both legend and law, continues to shape the identity of Hawaii. And that's why his story remains one of the most fascinating tales of leadership, prophecy, and power. So what do you think? Was Kamehameha's destiny written in the stars, or was it his own cunning, strength, and allies that truly made him great? Let us know in the comments. And as always, stay tuned for more epic history explained right here on your nerdy show.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.